it was relatively calm, besides the chickens. And I can hear the waves on the other side, and that's like probably a mile away. So at some point, I'm gonna try to get over there and see what's wave action is happening, because it must be, when you can hear it on this side, it's usually pretty wild over there. But I think it's gonna rain shortly, so that's gonna put on hold for a bit. I'm headed out. I don't know if I'm gonna get a walk in. Yesterday I didn't do much. My head cold is still hanging on pretty good. And then today I haven't done much either, but I'm not really good at, just sitting around. I mean, if I'm like really close to death, then yeah, I can sit around and do nothing, and sleep and all that kind of stuff. But if I'm not, then I don't know, I'm not that dead, and I think that if I go out and do some things, it might actually help. Maybe it'll, I don't know, get rid of it or whatever. So it's not the greatest of days. I had plans when I woke up, but yeah, those plans got interrupted, so I just had to adapt. And now I'm gonna go see, it's too windy for the drone. So I'll see if I can get a beach walk in, or at least a short one, and I don't know. After that, I'll just have to wait and see if it starts to sprinkle or whatever. It's done that a couple times today too. So basically, September there was still a bunch of visitors, tourists around, but October and the beginning part of November tends to be pretty dead around here. I'm not sure exactly what the reason is. I mean, years back, it used to be dead come May. So it's really expanded a lot, because, I mean, back then, I mean, literally, you'd get some people in May and some people in June, but not much. And now there's tons of people here in like August, and it's pretty hot here in August. This is pretty warm. So to expand and having expanded the season that long is pretty good. So now not everybody, but there's a lot of the restaurants and stuff. Most of the local ones will be open, but there'll be some. They take a week or two, do some renovations, take some time off, that kind of thing. So if you come down here now, you're gonna have to look around, see who's open and who's not, and you'll find stuff. It's not like everybody's closed the entire time, but there are different ones that are closed and then they'll open up, and so just so you're aware. If you want to come down, it's still warm, the water's still warm, but there's not all the restaurants open all the time. Remember earlier I told you that I thought the waves were big and loud from the house side in the morning? They are, as you can see. I'm not sure it was a good plan or not, but I ended up going for a fairly good walk. Not as long as a lot of times I do. Probably only, mile and a half, maybe 2 at the most. Maybe 2.5, I don't know. It wasn't that long compared to usual. But will I regret it later? That I don't know. But you could see the waves are just continually pounding, coming in, and that was the noise that I said I heard this morning. So that's when it's like that and it's calm. You can hear it all the way, Cupid's Key's on the other side, on the Caribbean side, so to speak. And when it's rough like that, you can hear it over there. I bet you it's pretty wild up to Glass Window too. But I don't feel like going up there. And no, not happening today. This is over at Navy Beach. And so again, somebody's going to make a resort out of boy, good luck with the beach thing, because there's more days than not that it's rough on this beach. It's great for walking, but not so great for swimming. So I don't know what the thinking is there. Maybe it's going to be one of those resorts where you look at the ocean and swim in the pool. Could be a new concept, right? You hear that power? All 4 of those mice are working hard. You thought I meant to say horsepower, right? Horses? No. There's no horses in the Mini. They're mice. They're bigger mice, but they're mice. They're not horses. Busy Sunday on the highway. Lots of traffic. Wait, I see a car, I think. Hold on. Could have been just a branch moving. I should be seeing it. Yep, there it is. Aha. There it is. It's actually a truck. Whew. I'm sure some of you probably are wondering, why is it, oh, and I already did this once, but the little connector here, I guess, was too loose, so there was no sound. So you would have been just listening to me like, so hopefully this one's fixed. But why doesn't Todd go to doctors more when he gets sick? One, I don't get sick very often. This year I've had more. Last trip home, I got sick. This trip, got sick. So, as somebody pointed out, maybe you're getting allergic to the U.S. Possible, but I doubt that's it. But I hardly have ever really gone to doctors very often. And usually, I'd say probably 10 out of 10 times, it's because Sid has insisted, and been rather pesty about that. And then 10 out of 10 times, it's usually done no good whatsoever, because they'll give me something and then I take that and it still doesn't do anything. And it's not that, it's one of those kind of things. I think that a lot of the things I get just have to run their course. So you can't just take medicines and it's going to magically disappear. And I'm not a big fan of taking just all kinds of medicines anyway. So I'd have to go back all the time. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. And I just don't do that. I mean, I can't tell you how many. I mean, this spring I went back to the doctor and it must have been 10, 15 years since I had been there, because they were like, when was the last time you were here? And I don't tend to go, because most of the time it takes care of itself. There's been a few times that I've had to, because of you know who's not here right now, by the way. I mean, one of those times years ago, I was skiing, and it was just one of those freak accident type things. So I'm skiing. I had a tin of Altoids. You know, the little mints that come in the metal tin? And it was in my coat pocket. And I was doing a mogul run, which, if you're not a skier, that's the round mounds with all the little pieces in between, and you bounce in between. And this was probably 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And I just stopped on the top of a mogul, and it was just one of those freak things. I just went, it was like cartoons, and I fell over. And I was like, oh crap. And the guys that were with her were like, hey, stop fooling around. What happened? I said, I don't know, I think I busted a rib. Well, I don't think you can really see it, but there's this bone right here. And what ended up happening was the Altoid can got wedged underneath and broke apart the ribs right here. So one went in and one went out. So it was like, there's nothing I could do about it. Yeah, hurt like hell. But it kept going on, kept hurting, And, you know, now there's a bone there. So Sid was like, you got to go in and see the doctors and blah, blah, blah. So I finally gave in and said, okay, fine. Make an appointment. I'll go in. So I get in, and the doctor that first saw me is a friend. I've known him for years. And so he's looking at it, and he's going, whoa, wait here. So he goes, gets this other guy, who I also know, but not as well. And the guy walks in, and, you know, I didn't have my shirt on. There's this bone bump sticking out there. And he's like, whoa, what the hell is that? And I said to him, guys, this isn't exactly how doctors need to instill confidence and comfort in their patients. And they were like, yeah, I know, but what the hell is that? So they said, yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just that the bone is grown. It's, you know, fused itself together again there in that rib. And he said, you know, maybe when you get older or something, if it becomes a problem, we can do an operation, take the bone out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, well, we'll cross that bridge if it ever comes up. But so I don't tend to go to doctors because it's not something that, so far anyway, has had any lasting effect. I usually get cured myself. It takes some time, and then it's done. So will that always be? Probably not, unless I just, you know, one of these days go keel over and have a heart attack or something like that. At some point, there will be. But up until this point, these first 60 years, and I'm not implying there's going to be another 60, by the way. These first 60 years, I've hardly ever gone. And when I've had, I went for this. What else did I go? Oh, I sliced through my thumb with a razor, so it made me go for that one. I got away with, I cut through my leg with a chainsaw. I didn't have to go to the doctor on that one. She didn't. I did take 2 days off too. Before I went back to work, I put a big bandage on it. It's still there. That was a fun one. It looked like, picture hamburger you buy in the grocery store. Well, when you cut through your leg, that's what it looks like. It's basically hamburger. It wasn't fun, but I didn't go then either.